guys, guess who's back?
Hey people, hi, how's it going? Hi.
Oh my god, it's been forever.
It's been literally 3 years.
3? No way, you're kidding.
I think it's been 3 years. I could check. Hold on.
Oh my god,
When's
yes,
it-
please check, because like there is no way it's been that long.
Okay, the last episode was technically... Your purple, is he okay?
Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can fix this.
Hold on.
Oh my god.
Oh my... Is he okay?
Dude, and I have my door closed. These dogs are wild.
But the last public episode was Chaos or Super Dead, which was 2 years ago.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Things have happened. Like, I got a disease, like...
I'm working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I'm being abused.
Oh my, no, everything's wrong, abort, everything's wrong.
Everything is wrong. Like, I haven't even been able to, like, stream or anything.
Oh my
like,
god.
It's been chaos,
It's
honestly.
been chaos.
Like, the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, the day too, but, like, it's just been a lot.
Things have been going on. Did you have the dog 3 years ago? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
He was quieter, and he didn't know how to bark, though.
He was a quiet boy.
He was. Emphasis on was.
Was.
Now, he's very talkative. It's the chihuahua in him.
He's part of the podcast now. He's part of the podcast now.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome Moose to the podcast. He's a pain in my booty.
He's the guest for today's episode.
He's a special dog.
Is it okay if I talk about my vitiligo? Is that okay?
The what?
My vitiligo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, about like a year and a half ago, I think it was a year and a half ago when I talked to you about this, I noticed some light pink squares and blotches, and yeah, and we looked up into it, and it turns out I had vitiligo, and which is something that occurs when you're in your early life or like early 20s. Like, I was getting towards like my mid 20s there and everything, and it's a very strange thing, because like people say like, oh, you know, it's a disease, and it's weird because at the end of the day it doesn't really impact you. And when I think of disease, I think of something that will eventually kill you, you know? It just, I don't know. I'm not trying to get too personal or weird about it, but I just think that's kind of interesting, you know? Like a disease.
It is. Especially because I've never even heard of it until you had it.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
It was so weird.
Is it even something that was like is common? Like, I never searched it up, but I'm sure you have. So I don't know how common it is.
It's actually not really that common. And that's the weird thing, is that scientists can't really think about, you know, what really is the cause of it, or unless it's just multiple factors. But I've seen it be attributed to genetics, stress, or who knows?
That's wild. Like, when you told me about it, I was like, wait, hold on, what?
Yeah.
I was confused, honestly. I don't know why I didn't search it up. I usually search up like all these weird diseases. I know that's a little weird, but like it's something interesting. But then again, like, I had a major in biology and psychology, so no wonder. Growing up, like, I was bullied a lot, like before middle school.
Right.
You know, like in elementary, because I went to elementary school in a different country. I was bullied a lot, and it was just by the simple fact that I was able to speak English perfectly compared to the other kids. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is because I have ADHD, okay? Like, straightforward, I have ADHD.
Right.
Since I was a kid, I was diagnosed since very, very young. I don't like to label myself as that.
Right.
That's the only thing. But I do mention it only in this case where when I was a little kid, I was extremely hyperactive, which is why they were able to caught it. So I was a very hyperactive kid. I could never stand still, not even in class. I hated class. Like, standing still, like sitting in a chair for hours on end was just not my thing. So kids would pick on me for that, you know? Like, I would be, quote unquote, the trouble child in the group or like the class. So yeah, I actually ended up becoming a whole disease at the school, believe it or not. It was a small school too. It was a very small school. So like, everybody knew everybody. Right. You know what I mean? Throughout all of the grades, like, we all knew everybody. So it was not fun.
Oh, definitely.
Nowadays, like, I can laugh at it because it was just freaking hilarious how kids, like, can make one kid a disease, but, like, at that point, it was just painful. Like, it sucked.
No, definitely. Like, I think it's really funny that you said that because, my sister, who's figured out that she had ADHD, said that she could never stay in her seat for a very long time. She was always, like, getting up. She was, like, she just couldn't stay still, if that makes sense to you in your experience. But I don't know.
I completely understand that. Like, even today, like, I still struggle with the fact that I cannot focus. And it was a very, very, very big deal in high school and college. Like, it was a struggle. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, there's cases of ADHD that are not as serious as others. I feel like I'm not one to say because I only have my experience to go with.
Definitely.
But I remember I would cry due to the amount of, like, frustration I had on myself because I know I have stuff to do. I wanted to do that stuff, but my body and my brain just could not do it. I've heard, and this is a thing, like, this annoyed me, honestly, because I had one coworker at one of my jobs that, I don't know how we even got into the conversation, but she would be like, oh, well, everybody has some form of ADHD, you know, like, I can't focus either. And I'm like, that's not how that works.
No, that's not how that works. Not at all. What's she talking
That's
about?
not how that works. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, like, sometimes we cannot focus, but that's because we just procrastinate. I just don't have the fucking ability to. Like, I will try my best, and, like, I just can't. Like, it's not my choice.
Exactly. It's never a choice.
I can't. If you have an extreme case, like, I went through where I would literally cry from the frustration of not being able to focus. That's where the problem lies. Like, once you reach those extremities, that's when you know you have a problem, you know?
Exactly. It's like the extremes of it. Definitely. You know, I didn't mean for this episode to start so deep, but I feel like, you know,
I feel like we always get into these conversations where we end up getting deep, you know? So, I mean,
I think that's what we said a few years ago too.
At this point.
But then again, I had a midlife crisis at 21, so I think I think we definitely changed.
Going through my quarter life crisis the past 4 years ago, so I feel like the world needs to be nicer to each other. Don't get me wrong, there's nice people out there, and I feel like it's gotten I don't know if I would say it's gotten better, but I've noticed it more as
I feel
time goes by.
Like, the world can be such on fire, but I think as more society grows, I think we're more likely to become more loving and inclusive, I think, right?
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Right, because, like, my sister grew up in the early 2000s and 90s, and, you know, 2004 was the year of Mean Girls, because it was the idea of, like, you know, girls being mean to each other, because, like, girls can be very mean to each other, and especially in high school and middle school and everything. And also just the trend of, like, oh, I'm not like other girls, but now it's just like, you know, why are we putting down other girls? We should be trying to support each other, right?
Like, it was, in high school, right? Like, the movie?
Yeah,
right?
It's set in a high school, yes.
Right? Funny thing that, like, when my middle school and high school experience, I don't think I've really ever met, like, a mean girl, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It was honestly... I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember most of my high school, middle school experience.
Yeah.
I just was trying to go through life. And
well, presumably as we grow up, we should be able to forget that and move on, presumably. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. High school, middle school, it was rough.
Oh, definitely.
Rough.
Definitely. We had our plenty share of high school stories on the podcast, for sure. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But... definitely, I feel like Mean Girls, for me at least, was more agreeable with my elementary school life than any other life.
You know, honestly, I think so
funny
too.
To me. I feel like it taught me to be the person who I am today, where I'm very nice to everybody, you know, and I try to not be confrontational. Of course, I'm not saying I'm not confrontational, because...
right.
Listen to me. If you get on my bad side, if you piss me off... You better run for the hills, or you might see Jesus that day.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
And funny thing, it's been mainly at work, not anywhere outside of work or with friends or anything really. It's mainly been at work, and specifically with management. Now that, and I know, like, I've had a conversation with one of my customers, like, a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Who also works in the service industry. Keep in mind, I work in a restaurant. I do multiple jobs, multiple positions.
Right.
I just decided to learn everything. Why not? But I was talking to somebody else who was in the service industry, and she had multiple encounters with managers, and she never had the guts to say anything, even though they were in the wrong. Meanwhile, me, I honestly, some of these things I'm not proud of. I'm not saying
We're only human. We're only
I'm
human.
gonna be honest. Yeah, I'm not proud of, but I don't regret it at the same time because it kind of taught my managers not to mess with me, and I'm smarter than I look. I have cursed out. Again, not proud, but I don't regret it.
Right.
Not proud. I have cursed out one of my store managers. I've cursed out my department manager and my assistant department manager. Now, each of these instances has occurred due to different reasons, but they were all quote unquote justifiable, but maybe not to that extent. You know what I mean? I still have no regrets. I gotta say, I have no regrets. They knew not to mess with me after that.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? I think at the end of the day, it's never good to cuss out higher management, but you know, it's important to stick up for yourself too, I think, at the end of the day, right? Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
I gotta say, like, this is the thing. My other job, I know I'm talking about jobs. Like, why? I literally just got out of my second job. My other job is as a cake decorator. Let me tell you, that job is probably one of the most stressful jobs ever.
Oh my God.
I know, it sounds fun. This is the thing. It sounds fun. A lot of people, whenever I mention that, they're like, "Oh my God, that sounds so fun!" And I'm like, "No, no, it's not."
I worked with desserts, and I got called Betty Crocker, and I'm here like, haha, yay!
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Like, that job it has so many management issues.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
Because I was not even supposed to be a cake decorator. Funny thing, I was not supposed to be a cake decorator. I started out in the front dealing with customers. One day they decided to put me in the back as a cake decorator to help them out, quote unquote. I never left. I ended up learning how to decorate cakes. I ended up decorating cakes, making orders, doing this, doing that. In the meantime, I asked my manager and my store manager and my department manager, "Hey, make me a decorator apprentice because I'm learning this crap." You know, seems fair enough, right? I need to get paid for my job.
Like, on paper, it sounds good, yeah.
Paid for.
Right, like, it sounds good on paper, yeah.
Exactly. So they were like, yeah. 6 months later, they did not do anything.
It was like, oh God.
They would they would pretty much just blow me off. And eventually, I literally had to put my resignation in. Keep in mind, I still work there, meaning I did not quit officially, but I did put my resignation in. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I am doing somebody else's job. That's not even mine. My job is supposed to be dealing with people, not cake. That ended up in a whole crap show.
And they just escalated.
Oh, yeah, things escalated. To become a cake decorator, I asked for a decorator apprentice because I knew I had to go through that first before becoming an actual decorator.
Of course, yeah.
But that thing takes 6 months, right? To become a decorator.
Oh, wow, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's 6 months for you to you have to be a decorator apprentice for 6 months, and then you can become a decorator. And I told my store manager, once he gave me the position, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Give me a raise, yeah. But I'm not going to stay 6 more months being an apprentice when I already know everything.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I've had many issues with management, as you can tell.
It's okay. I mean, we all technically do, don't we? We all technically do.
Yeah, but most people don't confront their managers and curse them out.
No, honey, no. Oh, my God.
Listen, in the bright side, once that store manager left, he was like, "You are one of the very extremely few people who went toe to toe with me."
Wow.
He said it in like a proud kind of way, I feel like.
So, okay, Saturn, I have a story to tell, but not one you expect, all right? Okay.
Oh boy, I love story time, so do tell.
Okay, so
tell me the tea.
I'm just wondering, have you ever heard of the YouTuber HannahTheHorrible? Like, at all?
Actually, I have not. But then again, constantly working. I have no
It's
time to
okay.
be
It's okay.
online.
Well, I'm gonna tell this little story that she covered very recently the other day because I just think like, oh my god, this story is so engaging. Like I have to tell Saturn about this because I think it'd be right up your alley. Okay, so essentially, story time. There was this young man who was a fashion designer on TikTok, and have you ever heard of the brand Balenciaga?
I mean, who hasn't? All the bougie bitches got it.
Right, okay. So he goes over to Florida, but however, months later, after he enters this trip, he disappears. No one ever hears from him again.
What?
Yeah, he disappears. He disappears. But wait, there's more. There's more.
There's
all right?
more?
There's more, yes.
Now I'm intrigued. My
Yeah.
my criminal, my true crime,
Yeah. Yeah.
like little spirit is coming out. What I
Right.
need to know more.
So this kid's name was Isaiah Bass, and months later, let's say like a year later, this woman goes over to Paris, this random woman, and she films on TikTok, and she says she sees this mannequin in the store wearing the same print as the boy. It looks very similar to the boy, and she goes, hey, for anyone who's missing a son, there's a mannequin here with very realistic hands that looks like your son that's missing. If anyone knows who this kid is, feel free to say something. And people think it was Isaiah Bass. That Balenciaga, who's had a weird history with the public, was worried that because
No
the kid said
way.
because the kid said, I'm gonna take legal action against you guys because you stole my design. And essentially the theory goes that they embalmed him and they brought him over to Paris, France, and put him as a mannequin in one of those stores that just say, screw you for trying to get at us.
That okay. Mm-hmm. I gotta dig deep into this one now.
Right.
Like outside of the podcast, because like that's just freaking interesting.
Yeah, but listen,
Like
there's
that is wild.
But you're
like,
not-
excuse me, Balenciaga. You. I have questions and I need answers.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Right.
we all have questions that need answers.
Right.
You need to explain yourself.
But the story is not over. The story actually has an ending, and you're not going to believe how it ends.
There's more.
Yeah, you're not going to
my
believe how
God.
it ends. All right.
Oh
So
my
this
God.
is where Hannah comes in because she actually found out the answer to this case. Because a lot of people in the comments are like, I think this is actually a previous model for Balenciaga. Like instead of Isaiah Bass. So there was a lot back and forth and people couldn't decide. So Hannah did some digging. And long story short, she found out that the original story originally started from a creepypasta storyteller after the original mannequin video was released, which was confirmed to be the model. Right? So that brings into the question of like, well, what happened to Isaiah? Well, apparently, according to this digging, because they could never find the original TikTok upload or anything, is that Isaiah never existed. He never existed at all.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And again, credits to Hannah and her
my
her
God.
team to figuring it out. But isn't that crazy?
That is insane. Like what?
Yeah.
That is so wild to me.
And it's like
That's
right. And people thought it was a real person because, again, the hands were so realistic. And one of the first comments on, like, Hannah's video was like, well, imagine what people are going to say when they actually go to, like, a Madame Tussauds or, like, a wax museum.
my God.
But it's just, like,
That's actually very interesting.
It's
That's
so-
extremely interesting.
it was such a weird story that I felt like I had to share on the podcast because I'm not getting over that. Like, that is so weird. Like, what a weird story.
What if Isaiah was a real person though, and they're like,
Yeah. But
I mean, what if it was? Like, if he actually was a real person, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But the funny thing is that because this story blew up so much, the original model, who was the model for that mannequin, brought up this story. And he was like, because he's been inactive for years, and people were like, well, what if he's missing? And he goes on to like TikTok Live or Instagram Live. And he's like, guys, I'm alive. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I go online and everyone's saying I'm dead. What's going on?
He had to be like, yo, chill. Everybody chill.
Like, everybody chill.
Let the chaos subside, please. Oh, my Lord.
So it's a very comedic end to the story. I just like,
That
wow.
is quite a comedic end, I agree.
Oh my
My
God.
God.
But it's just like, I'm not over this. Like, what a weird What a weird thing, because it's like, even the logic of like, well, he went to Florida. How in the world did he get to Paris, France? Because like the theory was like, well, in order to not get them tracked or anything, they just went over to Paris, and it's like, but why?
Yeah, like why? And not only that, like, okay, now this is just my crime junkie brain working, okay?
Sure.
If you were to kill somebody and embalm them, why would you put them in stores with their face on it? You know, like, I'm sorry, but like, that would not be the smartest way to kill somebody.
And like, I'm not trying to steal Hannah's video here by discussing everything that you talked about. I'm just gonna link it in the description because it's such an interesting video. But she messaged several real life embalmers to ask, like, hey, what if hypothetically they did put like a body in a store as a mannequin, like embalm someone sitting up, what would happen? And one of the embalmers said, well, first off, I hope that story is not real, which it turned out to not be real, thank God. Most bodies, when they're embalmed, it's important to put them in like glass or something to contain the body to keep it fresh, correct? And if you put a body with real life people in fresh air, eventually things are going to go wrong. Like the skin's going to start to peel, and especially if a mannequin's being touched by several different people, it will be very noticeable eventually. So if it was the case, I think they eventually would either remove the mannequin as quickly as they could, or or just like hide it somewhere, or get rid of the body,
or just not put it out to begin with.
But it was just kind of interesting to hear the scientific logic behind stuff. Like, well, if they put it with people, then they're gonna just touch the mannequin, right? Because of course they would. Think about how many people touch mannequins on the daily.
Yeah, exactly. Especially to take on and take off clothes on a daily basis.
Exactly. And so that said, if you and I ever go to Paris, France,
we gotta go see it. That's what I know.
We gotta go see it. We gotta go see it.
We gotta.
Well, you never been too comfortable with dolls, correct? You didn't like
Correct.
that. Yeah.
It depends on what kind of dolls. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
Like those porcelain dolls? Those freak me the freak out. Okay.
So,
actually, speaking of, there was this like whole paranormal story that I saw.
Right.
It was on, I believe, TikTok that I saw. No, I think I saw it on a YouTube video or something like that.
Sure.
And oh my God, it was, I guess, this guy inherited this house and this creepy freaking clown doll.
Oh God.
From, I think, his grandmother or something like that. He always felt very uneasy with that doll. Like, there was just something uneasy about it. So he ended up putting it in a different room, and he was staying at that house. In the middle of the night, he woke up and he would hear scratching coming from the room next to him, which is where the doll was.
Oh God,
and the doll would move by itself. He ended up putting in the basement, and the doll would be moving by itself. Like, he actually put a camera on in there. And
God.
Yeah, keep in mind, like, this doll is not. It's creepy. Like, I will tell you firsthand, it is a creepy freaking doll. I will try to find a picture of it because
sure. In the meantime, I have two questions for you. All right. The first one is that's.
I'm kidding. What is the question?
That said, how do you feel about It's a Small World? Because that writes all about dolls.
I like the ride. I hate the song. It drives me crazy.
Understandable.
like that song.
Secondly, have you heard about that one infamous doll in Japan? That one hair growing doll in Japan?
No.
Okay.
Wait.
So
I might have.
It's a very famous story about this doll in Japan. And it's like, no matter how much time goes, it keeps growing hair every time they cut it. And the hair just keep growing and nobody knows why.
What?
Yeah. And that's really it, honestly. It's just that, every time they cut her hair, it just keeps growing new hair. And it's like, oh my God, like, how is this happening? Why is this doll growing hair like it's a person, So many people think that the doll is, like, obviously possessed, by a spirit.
Oh my God. I mean,
like,
how else? Like,
yeah,
I don't even, I'm trying to figure out in my brain, like, how would you explain that? Or, like, how it...
Yeah.
But it's impossible. Like,
Right.
there's no way to explain it.
Unless, like, someone is, like, you know, purposely, like, every night, like, growing new hair within this doll, like some sort of plant or something, if that makes sense. But it's like, what plant looks like hair, you know?
Yeah, like, it makes no sense. Okay, so I found a picture.
Okay.
Okay, so let me.
On today's episode, Saturn and Ring go ghost hunting.
I actually went ghost hunting, believe it or not.
I think you
went
told
to
me
St.
that story.
Augustine. Before I continue that, hold on.
Sure.
Let me send you the picture.
Okay. And, oh, what is that? What is
That's
that?
a clown doll. That's the clown doll.
Oh, that's not
that
even...
shit. It's creepy, and it gives me creepy freaking vibes.
Why? I'm just like, who has that in their house? Who has that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why don't you just throw it away?
Or give it a church, or throw some holy water in it. Good God.
Make it an exorcism. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh,
but
boy.
You need to get rid of that thing. That shit's creepy.
Speaking of which, apparently I learned that only official licensed exorcists can actually go ahead and perform exorcisms, and I think that's very interesting. It's like,
wait, you didn't know this?
I did not know that. I did not know that you had to get like a whole thing done in order to do that. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, you have to like go through like the church, and I don't know, like there's so many shit to do like before you can even allow an exorcism. But then again, I have digged really deep into supernatural, paranormal stuff.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So I've known this for a very long time. Now, when it comes to ghost hunting, I went with Mandy to a concert in Jacksonville, right? But
correct.
We ended up finding a hotel in St. Augustine, which is like 30-minute drive, maybe.
Sure.
You know, so we went to Jacksonville just for the concert, and then we were just going to go back to St. Augustine. Well, the night before we went to Jacksonville for the concert, we were just looking at things to do in Jacksonville, in St. Augustine. And we found the old jail. You can go ghost hunting it, starting at midnight until like 2:30 in the morning. When I tell you, I have never experienced such things like that. Okay. And keep in mind, they gave us a lot of things that we can investigate, you know, and use. And there's like things that like happen to you. I cannot even explain, right? I don't know if you know much of the history of the old jailhouse in St. Augustine, but they had a lot of people there. So whenever somebody was sent to this jail, apparently many said that you will most likely not come out of there alive.
Oh, what?
Which is, because they had horrible living conditions, honestly. Horrible living conditions.
Right.
The person, like I don't know if it was the sheriff or what. The person pretty much, because there's a house attached to that from the jail where literally like a family would be living in with the person in charge of the jail, which is crazy to me, first of all. Like, why would you have your family members literally living right next to criminals, murderers?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
All this stuff.
Right. It's so,
you know?
Yeah. It's very strange. Like something that we obviously don't do today for a reason.
Yeah, very clear reasons. So anyways, the living conditions at this jail were horrible.
Yeah.
Like, they would literally stuck like 8 people in a cell that's made for 2.
Oh, God.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, it was bad, okay? And keep in mind, like, I have gone to St. Augustine before, and I have gone to this old jail before. Not ghost hunting, but I have been to this jail before. And there's multiple things that happened. One of them being that, like, we went to this room up in the actual house area, not the prison area, right? Mm-hmm. So the house area. We went to the room where the kids would be sleeping. And I would literally keep getting brushed by something on my legs.
Oh, what? No. No.
Like, what the fuck is going on? Right? Like, what is this? Like, what, like, I keep, like, rubbing my legs thinking I have, like, maybe a hair or something. Like, something, right?
Yeah.
And one of the ladies that was there with us, right? Because there was, like, 2 ladies, and there was 2 other people along with me and Mandy. 2 other people who paid for the, like, ghost hunting experience, right? But then there's 2 ladies that are kind of, like, directing us around the house, telling us some of the history, this and that. right? And one of the ladies sees me, they're like, I keep grabbing my legs, being like, what the freak? And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh no, like, yeah, I'm fine. I think there's something on my legs. And she's like, you keep feeling something brushing against you? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, there's a dog here, or at least we believe it's a dog, that will brush up against people's legs.
Nah. Oh my God.
And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Like, you're kidding. You know? Oh my God.
Well, further down this hallway, there's this other room, right? Where apparently, which is what makes the whole, like, what I'm going to tell you afterwards, that's what makes it creepier.
Okay.
Apparently in this specific room, there is this very evil presence that will appear every so often, right?
Oh.
Like, very evil presence, according to them. Like, they told us, like, they warned us to not communicate with it. Like, try not to, like, just don't.
Yeah.
Like, don't communicate with it. Just let it be. But me, myself, and my gut feeling, something kept drawing me to that room. Something made me, like, want to go back to that room constantly. And I was like, why is it, like... And I listened a lot to my gut feeling, and that's because I've had multiple experiences in my life where my gut feeling was always right. And I, like... Or sometimes my gut feeling will literally pull me towards something, and it would constantly keep pulling me towards it. Like, all I wanted to do is just go back there. Like, why?
It might be worth having a second visit, in my opinion, then.
I agree, because I don't know why I just ended up not doing so. Like, I didn't really go back there fully. And I do agree. I feel like it does require a second visit to be able to figure out. Because, like, I feel like there's just something there. Now, whether it's good or bad, I have no idea. But I just, for my own peace of mind, eventually I will do it again.
Oh, definitely.
And I will definitely investigate a lot more into that room.
St. Augustine vlog. Let's do it, boy. St. Augustine vlog.
Hell yeah, I'm so down. I'm so down. We could make a video out of it, too.
Oh, definitely. Like, something I would definitely also want to do, speaking of which, is the Casadega trip as, like, a vlog. Right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've been dying to go there. And the funny thing is that my therapist is the one who told me about it.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Casadega is currently the psychic capital of the United States, and the town is filled with psychics and ghost hunting and spirituality. It's a very interesting little neck of the woods, I would say.
100% neck of the woods. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, but it looks really, really pretty and really, really cool.
Yeah. Have you seen images of their fairy garden? It's really pretty.
I have. It's so pretty.
I wanna leave like a bead necklace or something there. I think it just like be part of the garden.
Yo, yes, for sure. Apparently they actually have like quote unquote services on, I think it was Sundays. I gotta double check to make sure. But apparently, like, they will pull people from the crowd for free and give them a reading.
Really?
Which I find interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I think like just like, oh my God. And the thing is, like, is it? I mean, I think it'd also be interesting to do a Disney vlog as well, possibly Disney Springs or something of the like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay. So here's my game plan. All right, here's my game plan. Here's another idea. All right. I want to get exactly 10 people, reserve a reservation at Rainforest Cafe, right? It could be any Rainforest Cafe, but just a Rainforest Cafe, right? But get 10 people, we reserve a reservation, and we all dress up in formal wear in suits and dresses.
Oh my God. Let's go bowling in formal wear.
Yes.
I'll bring out my prom dress right now. I still have it.
But just like when we get there, we're very serious the entire time. We're like, oh, this food is exquisite. I love it so much. You know, just speak like that the entire time. And if anyone asks what the event's for, like, oh, is it a birthday? Is it a wedding? It's like, no, it's for Rainforest Cafe. It's for Rainforest Cafe.
Oh my God, we should definitely do that. That would be so funny.
I gotta get people to commit, though.
Oh, 1,000%.
If everybody...
I don't even know 10 people. How are we gonna do this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could just resort to 5, but I think it would be more effective if there's 10 people. You know, like when everyone dressed up in suits for, like, the Minions movie. You know, like that, you know?
Yes. Oh my God, we can even bring... Let's see if we can give in...
Yeah, just like be like, hey, listen, do you have a suit?
Do you have a suit and tie, boy?
Yeah, do
you have a suit and tie for your long ass legs?
Yeah, I do. What's it for? So listen to
Listen to our wild idea, okay? It's crazy, I know, crazy, but it's wild.
If that does happen, I swear to God, there'll either be pictures or I'll make it a video. I swear to God, because it's too exciting to not do.
I agree.
A very special event. A very special event. Okay, everybody. So that seems to be it for now for the first episode of the Waves of Saturn. Waves of Saturn season 2. I can't believe we're at season 2 already. Oh my God.
We're back at it again.
Maybe it'll be 4 episodes per season. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you all for sticking around. If you're back here again after so many years, thank you so much. Or if you're someone new, hi, my name is Ryn. This is Saturn. We talk about little things that interest us, like little geek stuff, supernatural stuff, just basically anything you could think about. It's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, we just let conversation flow and go with it.
Truly. All right. In that case, I'm gonna say my outro first, and then you can as well, Saturn. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, guys. Hope you have a great one.
Yeah.
And see you next time.
See you next time. All right. Bye-bye.